thank you so much for tuning in. Today we'll be looking at autosuggestion. This is episode 4, chapter 4 of our book, The Medium for Influencing the Subconscious Mind, the third step toward riches. Autosuggestion is a term which applies to all suggestions and all self-administered stimuli which reach one's mind through the five senses. Stated in another way, autosuggestion is the self-suggestion. It is the agency of communication because that part of the mind where conscious thought takes place and that which serves as the seat of action for the subconscious mind. Through the dominating thought which one permits to remain in the conscious mind, whether these thoughts be negative or positive is immaterial. The principle of autosuggestion voluntarily reaches the subconscious mind and influences it with this thought. Nature has so built man that he has absolute control over the material which reaches his subconscious mind through his five senses. Although this is not meant to be construed as a statement that man always exercises control. In great majority of instances, he does not exercise it, which explains why so many people go through life in poverty. Recall what has been said about the subconscious mind resembling a fertile garden spot in which weeds will grow in abundance if the seed of more desirable crops are known sown therein. Autosuggestion is the agency of control through which an individual may voluntarily feed his subconscious mind on thoughts of a creative nature or by neglect permit thoughts of a destructive nature to find their way into this rich garden of mind. See and feel money in your hand. You were instructed in the last of the 6 steps described in the chapter on desire to read aloud twice daily the written statement of your desire for money and to see and feel yourself already in possession of money. By following these instructions, you communicate the object of your desire directly to your subconscious mind in a spirit of absolute faith. Through repetition of the procedure, you voluntarily create thought habits which are favorable to your efforts to transmute desire into its monetary value. Your ability to use the principles of autosuggestion will depend very largely upon your capacity to concentrate upon a given desire until the desire becomes a burning obsession. How to strengthen your powers of concentration. When you begin to carry out this instruction in connection with the 6 steps described in the second chapter, it will be necessary for you to make use of the principles of concentration. Do not wait for a definite plan through which you intend to exchange service or merchandise in return for the money you are visualizing, but begin at once to see yourself in possession of the money, demanding and expecting meanwhile that your subconscious mind will hand over the plan or plans you need. Be on the alert for these plans, and when they appear, put them into action immediately. When the plans appear, they will probably flash into your mind through the 6 senses in the form of an inspiration. Treat it with respect and act upon it as soon as you receive it. When visualizing the money you intend to accumulate with closed eyes, see yourself rendering the service or delivering the merchandise you intend to give in return for this money. This is important. 6th step to stimulate your subconscious mind. First, go into some quiet spot, preferably in bed at night, where you will not be disturbed or interrupted. Close your eyes and repeat aloud so you may hear your own words. The written statement of the amount of money you intend to accumulate, the time limit for its accumulation, and a description of the service or merchandise you intend to give in return for the money. As you carry out this instruction, see yourself already in possession of the money. Second, repeat the program night and morning until you can, in your imagination, you can see the imagination. You can see in your imagination the money you intend to accumulate. Third, place a written copy of your statement where you can see it night and morning, and read it just before retiring and upon arising until it has been memorized. Remember, as you carry out these instructions, that you are applying the principle of autosuggestion for the purpose of giving orders to your subconscious mind. Remember also that your subconscious mind will act only upon instructions which are emotionalized and handed over to it with faith. With feeling, faith is the strongest and most productive of the emotion. Follow the instruction given in the chapter on faith. The secret of mental power. Skepticism in connection with new ideas is characteristics of human beings, but if you follow the instruction outlined, your skepticism will soon be replaced by belief. This in turn will soon become crystallized into absolute faith. Many philosophers have made the statement that man is the master of his own earthly destiny, but most of them have failed to say why he is the master. The reason that man may be the master of his own earthly status, and especially his financial status, is thoroughly explained in the chapter. Man may become the master of himself and of his environment because he has the power to influence his own subconscious mind. The actual performance of transmitting desire into mind involves the use of autosuggestion as an agency by which one may reach and influence the subconscious mind. The other principles are simply tools with which to apply autosuggestion. Keep this in mind, and you will at all times be conscious of the important parts of the principles of autosuggestion. The important part of the principles of autosuggestion is to play in your effort to accumulate money through the methods described in the book. After you read the entire book, come back to this chapter and follow in spirit and in action and in action this instruction. Read the entire chapter aloud once every night until you become thoroughly convinced that the principle of autosuggestion is sound, that it will accomplish for you all that has been claimed for it. As you read, underscore with a pencil every sentence which impresses you favorably. Follow the foregoing instruction to the letter, and it will open the way for a complete understanding and mastery of the principles of success. Every adversity, every failure, and every heartache carries with it the seed of an equivalent of a greater benefit. And that brings us to the end of this chapter. And this chapter is talking about autosuggestion, basically talking about claiming it, repeating it until it becomes part of your subconscious mind. And it has also listed some steps of what you need to do to stimulate that your subconscious mind into achieving what you want to achieve. And we've been advised to repeat it daily, when retiring, and as you wake up. You have it even close to your bed or somewhere that you can always see. That way it becomes part of you. And this also reminds me, it's very similar to the last book we read by Joyce Meyer, The Habits of a Godly Woman, where it talks about the power of our thoughts, right? And the power of our thoughts, and it also talk about power of faith. So all these things are kind of relative to what we must have heard before. It's kind of explain to us the benefit of claiming it. You don't just want to conceive it, you want to stimulate your thoughts in such a way that it becomes part of you. You have conceived it. You make sure you have the steps of what you want to achieve, the value you want to offer. You have everything analyzed and prepared in your mind. That way it becomes part of you. And I believe that system of auto-suggestion will bring everything to reality as you continue to follow the steps. That brings us to the end of this chapter. I will see you in our next episode. Bye bye.